Okay, here we go. Okay, I don't really know how to start one of these things, and to be honest, I'm still not even sure if I'm going to be posting any of these, but I do think that it is important to maybe share a little bit of my pregnancy journey with either if this is not being shared, then my future self, or if it is being shared, then all of you. I know that since this is my first pregnancy that I had a lot of questions about everything and I didn't really know what to expect. All I had to base off of was what I saw in movies or what I've heard or other people's experiences, but it is quite a different thing to experience this on your own. And so I really wanted to document this so that I can always have it and remember it and hopefully maybe help you guys as well. So without further ado, here we go. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about pregnancy in my first trimester. Right now, I'm already a little bit into my second trimester, but I'm going to talk about that in another video. So this video is all going to be about first trimester of pregnancy and maybe some questions that you might have or just kind of some pieces of advice that I've come across or, basically some pieces of advice that I feel like would be helpful and would have been helpful to me had I seen this video from someone else, for example. Okay, first on the list is telling people. That is just something that I feel like it's to each his own kind of thing. And they say that you really shouldn't announce it until you are in your second trimester because, there are a lot of things. First of all, of course, there's a higher risk of miscarrying when you're in your first trimester. A second reason is, like if the baby's for some reason not healthy or whatever it may be, maybe there's like some issues or problems or whatnot. Some couples wouldn't want to share the pregnancy news until they're in the clear. But anyway, so my story is I found out I was pregnant about 6.5 weeks after I conceived. So I was about a month and a half in. We told our parents right away. They were the first people that we immediately called and video chatted. Maybe I'll put some in the reactions in here since we recorded all of the reactions. I just wanted to call because I have to tell you something. Okay. You're gonna be a grandma. We just found out this morning. It's my friend Kyle filming your reaction.
And the other thing is, Bodhi's gonna be a big brother.
A big brother to who?
We're pregnant.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Congratulations, you guys!
You're gonna be an auntie.
Oh, you're kidding! Oh my
Not
gosh.
kidding.
Wait, what? No way! Congratulations!
Thank you.
So yeah, we just couldn't wait. We wanted them to know as soon as we knew. So we told them the same day, and we also told a couple of our very close friends because we just so happened to be seeing them that same day that we found out. So we decided to share the news. And other than that, to be honest, I really wanted to wait until we hit the second trimester just because it is kind of a scary thing. It is an overwhelming thing to be pregnant and, not expected to be pregnant anytime soon. And there's just like so many emotions and so many different things going on in my head at least. So I was trying to keep it on the DL, but my husband on the other hand was so beyond excited. So he kind of started sharing the news to anyone who would listen. So he's told a lot of people in person, pretty much within the first few weeks of us finding out, which, worked out. It's amazing, and obviously everyone knows now. But in terms of telling the general public, we waited until I was in my 12th week, which technically we should have waited until 13 weeks, but at that point I just couldn't wait anymore, and pretty much a lot of my good friends already knew anyways, so there you have it. The majority of people, I feel like, wait until the 13th week mark, so hopefully that answers that question if you were wondering when you should tell. Okay, a question I get asked a lot is, do I have any weird cravings, or did I have any weird cravings in my first trimester? And I know that based on watching things in movies and television shows and everything, they're like, oh, like, you know, you'll be craving ice cream with pickles or something really, really strange. And, you know, I heard some people, when they're pregnant, they crave dirt or soap or something that you're technically not supposed to eat. And apparently when you have cravings when you're pregnant, it's your body actually telling you that you're lacking a nutrient or something that is very vital to either your own body or the baby's development. So it's kind of important to listen to your cravings, whatever they may be. And anyway, so in terms of my own cravings, I don't know that I really had any weird ones per se. I would just have a lot of specific cravings for things. Like in the very beginning, before I even knew I was pregnant, I just like had a dire need to eat sushi, raw sushi, which, you know, you're not technically supposed to have when you're pregnant, but I didn't know I was pregnant when I was craving this. Anyways, so I told Hudson one night, like, I need to have sushi. I just need it. I don't know why, I just need it. So we went out and had sushi, and I had a whole mess of it. So I pretty much ate, I feel like my entire, I pretty much ate enough sushi to last my whole pregnancy anyways in that night. So I think I'm good for now. In terms of other cravings, so my cravings were normally like, I had to have one kind of thing. Otherwise, I didn't feel like eating anything else. It was like anything else sounded bad to me. So one of the things I was craving a lot in the beginning were like mashed potatoes. I think it's because, you know, I was kind of combating nausea and everything, and so chewing on something made me feel nauseous versus like mashed potatoes, it's savory, it's like, you know, it's kind of got everything in it. It's carbs, it's got maybe a little bit of dairy or butter or whatever it is in it that to me sounded satisfying rather than, you know, like munching on broccoli or something, for example. So yeah, I think I ate quite a bit of mashed potatoes in the beginning, and soup, a lot of soup, because that's kind of like the only thing that I felt like my stomach could handle. And in terms of combating nausea, another great question that I get asked sometimes is, how did I combat my nausea? How was my nausea? Like, was I sick all the time? So on and so forth. In the beginning, for the first trimester, yeah, I did get some bouts of nausea, but I never threw up or anything. It was never crazy terrible, and it would kind of just sneak up on me at any given time. Like, morning sickness isn't just in the morning. It can happen anytime. And for me, it was a lot of the times at night, like right before bed, which is kind of inconvenient, but at the same time, I'd prefer it because at least I could just go to bed and, you know, forget about it rather than like having it bother me throughout the whole day, which also did happen too occasionally. But yeah, the nausea wasn't too bad. It was kind of just something that would happen upon me instantly, and then I would just have to lay down and, you know, breathe really deep. And what really helped was, one, opening a window and breathing fresh air, breathing really, really deeply. Another one was ginger tea, my lifesaver. I was drinking that like nonstop. And 3 was frozen or really, really cold fruit. I was obsessed with ice cold oranges and frozen mango chunks. They were like my lifesaver. I would just like suck on frozen mango, and, you know, that would really help me. Yeah, but other than that, I was just really sensitive to certain smells. Like, one of the first symptoms I had or things that I had where I felt like I could be pregnant was when I was walking through the grocery store one day before I knew I was pregnant, and I was walking by the meat, the fresh uncooked meat section, and I could smell the the aroma, I guess you could say, of all the meat, and it really, really, really turned me off. And I almost felt like vomiting right there in the grocery store, which, you know, was kind of strange for me. And so that's also kind of why I've steered away for the most part from cooking since I've been pregnant. I used to cook every day, at least twice a day, for both my husband and I. But since I got pregnant and my sense of smell has just been so enhanced, I haven't really been able to do it as much, just because it really, really turns me off. The smell of, you know, uncooked meat and everything. And yeah, so that's one reason why I got nauseous. Another reason why I get nauseous is like, well, okay, so right now where we live right above a Chipotle. And so sometimes when we have our windows open, I would just get like a huge whiff of Chipotle. And it's not a nice smell when you're pregnant, or I don't know if it normally smells nice to me. I don't even remember right now. All I know is, yeah, that would make me nauseous now. So, yeah, Chipotle and raw meat or my triggers, I guess you could say. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the only other huge difference I had in terms of sickness-wise during my first trimester was I would get headaches that were pretty bad. And sometimes they would last all day long. And they were pretty crippling at some points. And I never get headaches. Like, Hudson and I are probably some of the healthiest people that we know, because we never go to the doctor. We're pretty much never sick. I never get headaches either. And so having headaches constantly throughout my first trimester pregnancy was a little discouraging for me, because I felt like, you know, it's frustrating for me to not be able to work out, or like, you know, not be able to sleep as much because my head was sore, or, you know, whatever. Especially because a lot of my job it's on the computer. You know, I'm an owner of an agency, a modeling agency, and I also handle Hudson's photo retouching, and so a lot of my job is on the computer. Yeah, and so having headaches here and there and not being able to, or not wanting to take medicine for it was kind of annoying. But, you know, I got through it, and I don't have them at all anymore. My second trimester it's true what they say. It's amazing. You have so much more energy, and I mean, to be honest, feel completely normal right now in my second trimester I feel normal, like as if it was before I was pregnant, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't feel any different. So that's kind of strange. But yeah, I'll talk about all of that in my next video. Let's see, what else can I talk about here? It's my first time using this camera, by the way, so I'm like hoping that it's doing its job. So another question that I had when I was pregnant is, when am I gonna start to show? You know, like, I was just really, really wanting to have a pregnancy belly already. And I honestly didn't really show in my first trimester, which is apparently very normal, because, you know, your baby is like the size of, you know, like this or smaller, and, you know, not very big at all. Like right now in my second trimester, the baby's apparently as big as a chipmunk right now, and in my 16th week currently. So yeah, before that, it wasn't really a thing, honestly. Like, I would have my days when I was bloated and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm showing. And I would always be like showing Hudson, like, yeah, I'm showing. And then the next morning it would just be completely gone again. So I'm like, oops, yep, it was just a little constipated there, or whatever it was. And so, yeah, I mean, don't expect to really show in your first trimester. I had a mini pooch, like on the very, very bottom of my stomach, which normally is not there when I'm not pregnant. So that was kind of interesting. Okay, yeah, so beside the mini pooch on the bottom, I really didn't show too much, and maybe I will add in my 1 to 3 month difference photos that I have. I've been taking a photo every month of my pregnancy, which reminds me I'm due for my 4th month one right now, so I probably should take that photo tomorrow. But it really does pay to have a husband who is a photographer, so it's pretty convenient. Speaking of, that's why our place looks kind of crazy right now, is because Hudson had a couple shoots here today and we have not put our place back to what it normally is. But anyway, so this was really fun to vlog, or is this considered a vlog, or I have no idea. Yeah, so stay tuned for my next video. In my next video, I'll be talking about why we chose our baby name and some other things. So stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for listening. I hope this helped you in some way, shape, or form, and yeah, have a great day.